Hey there, it's the Machine of Nonsense of the Year Awards, Day 2 for 2022. I'm your host, Eric, joined as always by Kayla.
Hello, it is episode 111.
Very nice, very nice. Yep, sure it is. I think I'm going to have you do the episode numbers from now on, because I think the gag where I don't know them, and that's completely true, is, I don't know, it's getting a little stale. Mike, you're here too.
111. That's a cool number, right?
Pretty good number. Yeah.
Some
All ones. Hello. All right.
that's
all I got.
Aaron, what do you feel about ones? Especially 3 of them consecutively.
that's I don't know if you guys know, but that's when Bilbo left. This is the birthday where he left the Shire. It's his 91st birthday.
Happy birthday, Bilbo Baggins. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's going to be the title of the pod. Happy birthday.
Yeah, we're celebrating Bilbo's birthday here. Not, the NOTYs, who cares?
Right, not the day of his birthday, but like how old he was when the movie came out 20 years ago.
Shit. So now he's 2011. God damn. We swapped out Ryan for Tomas. Ryan, how are you?
I am way better than Tomas.
Yes, yeah, he's working. He's
was
working
good-
overtime. Working
it was a
for
good
the
choice.
weekend. Yeah,
And
I agree.
And hello, everybody in Podland.
Yes, indeed. If you didn't get it from that just wonderful intro, this is the Nonsense of the Year Awards Day 2, even though it came quite a few days in between, but we're on Most Disappointing Thing and Best Character. If you don't remember Day 1 or you didn't listen, that's a weird thing to listen to Day 2, but I'm going to recap what we did on Day 1. We did Best Ensemble, and we did Best Moment. Get that? We did top 5 lists. We made long lists. I'm not going to share all of those, but our top 5s in Best Ensemble were Reservation Dogs, Severance, Our Flags Mean Death, The Bear, and God of War Ragnarok. Pretty.
I think you made a mistake, Eric. You just read my list.
Yeah, yes. Mike has good taste, everyone. Our best moments of the year of 2022 were learning to let go in Tunic, just learning to let go and let the internet tell you how to beat bosses. Every Inch Counts in Barbarian, the flare scene in The Batman, the nature of a thing in God of War Ragnarok, and the one-shot episode in The Bear. The Bear, everyone. Pretty good. On to Most Disappointing Thing. Tomas cannot be here, but he provided a list, so I'm going to start off by reading off Tomas's list. His most disappointing thing starts off just really rosy, real cheery. The State of the World was number 1 on his list. These are in no particular order. Nintendo, they need new hardware. His second disappointing thing. Third is Pokemon, too many games, not enough polish. Or Polish, I don't know. It might...
It's probably Polish.
Yeah,
Polish,
are there any Polish Pokemon? Don't know.
I'm not saying about that Polish life.
Probably.
I like bull sausage.
I was gonna say, Aaron, the rest of us here might have been into the Polish life, but not Tomas.
Diglett
Thinks there
looks
should
Polish.
be more in Pokemon. Wednesday was his number 2. Too edgy, too cringy. Also, Raul Julia will always be his Gomez, was Tomas.
Wow.
Yeah, of course.
And he doesn't have enough time to play his PS5. That was his number 1 most disappointing thing of 2022.
I
we
also-
can all relate.
I think I went about my list in the wrong way. I should have done personal issues from my life.
Well,
Yeah, me
you know,
too.
Tomas put his own spin on the list. I mostly did not do personal issues personally, but you know, to each their own. I think some of
Got
these.
some personal issues about these things.
Hey,
I
Lie.
had a squirrel chew through a wire in my engine.
Oh hell yeah!
That's gonna be my number one.
I'll tell you right now, his number 3, the Pokemon thing, is deathly close to one of mine. Who wants to go next for most disappointing thing 2022? Mike looks interested. I think he's making a face.
Yeah, I got it.
That's just what his face looks like.
Here we go.
I'm sorry, not to cut you off. I feel like this is gonna happen every fucking time. Eric's gonna be like, no one's gonna say anything. He's like, oh, Mike looks like he's ready to go every time. I think that happened last time,
ready.
didn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
I volunteer. I was on the trigger. last
Usually
time.
Mike volunteers to go first, so when he doesn't, Eric knows Mike wants to go first.
We usually figure it out.
A good
lead
host
off.
knows who
And then
wants
I
to go
like to
first.
stick
You know?
to that.
I never get first in like a draft scenario, so
Gotta give it to him now.
I'll have to take first when I can get it.
I mean, I guess technically you're second right now.
Oh,
Yeah, true that. Sorry, I'm gonna really start here.
I
All
like
right,
it.
fuck that Tomas shit. Damn it. HBOMax. You know,
Oh.
usually I'm a dick rider, as the kids say for HBO.
How old are the kids who say Dick Ryder, Mike?
Oh, at least 11.
I don't know what that means, but there was a lot of dicks in HBO this year, just so you know.
At least
Oh.
111 years old.
Might have been that many. You could stand them all up. Bunch of dicks.
I watched that resort show, and that's a zoom in.
I think every year is a year of dicks for HBO. They are not afraid to show some dicks ever. But I'm not a fan of what they've been doing, like as far as with their library and just shelving
Oh.
movies and just removing their own original programming off of the service.
Right.
Now that might lead to them merging with what is they're becoming like.
Discovery, HBO
Discovery, yeah. So maybe all that stuff is just going to be swapped onto there, but they haven't really been vocal about any of that. They've just like, Infinity Train, it's gone, you know?
Minx?
Batgirl, fuck that thing. Like tax write-offs, whatever.
Westworld, that's HBO, right?
Yeah,
My life,
yeah.
and they just like randomly they canceled it and then took all the seasons off of there. Just
Yeah, it's so weird. So that's on there. Very disappointed in them with that. Even
HBO
though
Max, killing
Okay.
art, one Minx at a time. That's what I wrote.
yeah, they renew Minx, they start production, and then they just pull the rug out from under them.
It was bought by somebody else or taken over by somebody else, though. I think it will go on.
Yeah,
I think they've
typically,
sold it, yeah.
it typically
good,
means they're going to sell something if they take it off their service completely. So
I don't know, like if you're working with HBO now, do you just feel like you're you're not secure at all? Like they're just as
I
bad as
think-
Netflix.
And as a consumer, it's not a cheap one to have. I feel like I should have access to their library.
yeah, and they're raising $2 a month now. Come the fuck on.
right. Yeah, but they're not even the only people doing like I forget the service, but they're making the Workaholics movie. Like all the people in it have been like talking about it constantly and posting about it as recently as like 2 weeks ago. Adam Devine was posting pictures of like the script that he had out that he was working on, and then it's supposed to start filming in 2 months, and they canceled it.
I think that's Paramount.
Yeah, it was Paramount. They just completely canceled it, and now they're just like, "We'll hope somebody else tries to pick it up," because it was a fully written movie that they all loved, and like everybody was like assembled to film it, and they just said, "No, we're not going to do it."
We can roll it into Halo Season 2, maybe?
They said it didn't fit with their global plans, whatever that means. So
Globally.
Streaming is weird. Everything gets it's in a weird place.
Maybe that's what Tomas meant. State of the world, state of the streaming world. That's what
Right.
Yeah. So that's a lock.
That's a lock. Yeah, we're gonna bold
Right.
that one. We're gonna bold that one.
We'll say number 4 here is God of War.
Ooh.
Ragnarok.
2-time winner on this very podcast.
I felt the same way at the finish line of the second one as I did with the first one. Just like, that was it, huh? That was it. It was a fun ride, but man, just can't. 0 for 2 on landing the plane. And
That's a hot
franchise
take.
for me. And yeah, we'll move on from that.
We will.
This one was just gonna be Jeff Keighley, like full stop. but he came correct with the Game Awards this year. So I just want to poke at Summer Jeff Keighley. We're just gonna call it Summer Keighley, and because his stuff this year was just like a waste of time. I felt like we got to see a lot of Callisto Protocol, which wound up to be kind of a dud. And that was, we got to see like the cast of The Last of Us show off like a remake for The Last of Us that was leaked earlier that day. And man, I just hope when he's pulling his like month of Keighley later in the year that it's just better. It's got the same quality as the awards did.
Good Game Awards.
Number 2. This was going to be Marvel in general, which I think we talked about last year too. But there's something that happened in Marvel that's gonna be talked about later. So I just want to focus on Moon Knight. Just on paper, sounds like just such a great show, like Oscar Isaac, Ethan Hawke, or Edward Norton if you're Eric, and like this weird Marvel Batman-esque, character with mental sickness and things like that, and it was just kind of a mess altogether. I think we recorded like a whole spoiler pod on it, I believe.
We did.
Walked away from that still as confused as I did finishing the show. So I don't know. I'm not excited to see that character again. If he comes up in a movie stinger or something, or in another show, I don't know. I just don't care.
What do you like for Moon Knight? More like Meh Knight.
More That's No Moon Knight. I have that as a title in Marvel Snap. My number 1 though is the Chrono Cross remaster.
Ooh.
Chrono Cross, one of my favorite games. That remaster was like rumored for a long time, and just to find out that like, okay, it's not gonna be like a super remake like Final Fantasy or anything. I was never anticipating that, but whatever. I'm gonna be able to play this game, plus like the Radical Dreamers game that I've heard about for 20 years. And man, the game just ran like dog ass. Like I had to like use the speed up charm, because normally you would have to beat the game to unlock the speed up charm, but they just give it to you in the remaster right away, and I can tell why. So it's the only way to not have the game run at 4 frames a second. And yeah, there's just not a lot of love put in it at all. It's very slapdash as far as remasters go. Certainly not like the level of a Square, like a Final Fantasy VII, which Square, is a big part of that, or like a Capcom Resident Evil thing. And yeah, it even looked like the backgrounds and the characters and stuff look worse than the original, I'd say. And there's like the Matsuda Kato, the director, put in like a secret message that you can unlock if you finish both games in it. And it's just like basically goodbye. And it seems like we're never going to see this franchise ever again. and it's one of my favorites. And I know it's near and dear to Tomas as well. And I don't know, it's just such a bummer. And I wish it could have gone out, had a made a bigger splash than it did. And obviously, Square doesn't care if it does or not. So.
How you feel about Chrono Cross Radical Downer Edition?
I hate it, Eric. I hate it.
Radical Downer Edition. If you hear it multiple times, you'll learn to love it. I've learned to love it. Okay. On to the next. One of yours was not too far from mine, Mike, and
I have one of the same ones as him.
ooh, I like it.
Same.
Okay. Aaron, why not? Go now.
Okay. My first two were just movies I was really excited for that sucked. The Invitation, which was a really, really bad Dracula movie. It was just really, really horrible. Like, I don't know. I can't even explain how horrible it was.
You're saying The Invitation sucks?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's what I wrote.
Pray for the Devil, which I was super excited to see because it seemed like a really cool take on the many different Exorcist movies. And it really wasn't. It seemed like it. It seemed like you're gonna get this cool, like, confident female exorcist, which you don't get in any of those movies, and that's not what it is at all. She's just a nurse who works there who can attend exorcist classes, and as soon as she gets in the class, she becomes like meek and defers to everybody. It's just not a good movie, and it's slow paced and it's boring and it's jump scary. It's just not good.
Pray
Next
for the diversity. Gotcha.
Pray for the diversity. Yeah. Next is the Dexter Finale. That
Damn.
it was really bad. I'm not talking about
It happened in
Lumberjack.
like 2007.
Blood or whatever, something. I don't know. First Blood. I don't know what it's called. But it was just really bad. I was looking forward to it. I thought, like, okay, they're gonna do something to maybe retcon the Lumberjack thing, which was what was the worst thing to happen to Dexter. And I was a big fan, like, of 3/4 of the show and the books. And then the first quarter or a third of this show was great. They set up these red herrings and everything, and then what the story actually turned out to be was really bad. And, like, in his original run, he spent, what was it, like 7 seasons not being caught by one of the largest police departments in the United States. And in this one, somebody Googles him and Miami, and he's pretty much figured out. And, like, literally, it's ridiculous. It's really bad.
Oh, Google's come a long way since,
Right.
2007 or whatever.
Like, there are people there who were accusing him in the first show, and they couldn't stop him. But in this, like, small town sheriff of a department of 3 officers Googles his name, and they're like, "Oh my God, he's the Bay Harbor Butcher." It's really bad. Next one is Book of Boba Fett.
Oof.
Was super fucking boring. It was like a weird Western for children, and then boring. Like, I didn't get it at all.
Book of Boring Fett is what you're saying.
Yeah, and then I also have the Chrono Cross remaster. I bought it and I played it for like half an hour, and then I returned it so I can get my money back before it was too late because it ran so badly and was so ugly.
Wow.
So I looked forward to it the whole time before it came out. I finally got the chance to play it, and it was so bad I just like didn't want to lose out on my money for buying it.
We have our first locked in, the Chrono Cross Radical Downer edition.
I think it's a hard vote. Can I go next?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
All right. Get him knocked out. Moon Knight. I thought the character, like, his acting was superb, but the overall story was super duper disappointing. I didn't like it almost at all. It was just not good. I don't know what to say about it. It's just too fantastical, not believable. Other characters weren't great as well. Pretty much like everything that Mike said, let's knock out another one. Book of Boba Fett. What the fuck were they thinking? It is like, I don't know. I feel like every time he's in the back to take, it just like is an anime flashback like sequence, like over and over and over and over. And they kept on using it. I was like, well, what are they doing? What's going on my boy Fett?
Love to tank.
Oh my god. I mean, the best part of that show for me is probably the Tusken Raiders. That was kind of it for me.
Mando stuff.
And then the Mando stuff. When Mando came on, I was like, oh shit, I'm interested. Let's go.
Yeah, the best episode of that show is a Mandalorian episode.
Pretty much, yeah. I want to watch Mandalorian. And I didn't have Mandalorian. So Book of Boba Fett. Thor: Love and Thunder. Hot trash. It was terrible. It was probably the worst Marvel film I've ever seen.
Here.
The jokes were bad. They were cringy. They didn't hit. There were good scenes in it. And the whole time, I was just thinking, God, I wanted more.
More love, more thunder.
More Christian Bale. That's like they just underutilized such a amazing actor, and and reports say they shot a bunch of scary footage of him and shit. He went like above and beyond, and they didn't use any of it. Thor felt boring. Yeah, too scary. They're just, you didn't feel any threat. Like he had one like big scene, and that was kind of it. I was interested in, like when you got introduced to him, and later on, just like, oh, okay, it's toss-away villain. He's cool looking. He sounds cool, but that's it. And of course, I think the Natalie Portman stuff then was good. It was well done. But other than that, it was just a really, really bad film. It was a big miss for Taika, in my personal opinion.
Thor: Love and Thunder is what you're saying.
Yeah, Love and Thunder. Diablo Immortal. Probably one of the worst video games ever to come out in the last 10 to 15 years. That's just solely based on greed and what they did with the MTX transactions, which is so bad. So bad. And last but not least, Obi-Wan. I didn't like Obi-Wan at all. Ewan McGregor is great, but acting felt stale. Some of the scenes were unbelievable. I thought Hayden Christensen part was really cool, and that was great. But again, it just felt like a filler episode that didn't need to be told to me. Is a big miss. And that's my most disappointing things of the year.
How about Diablo Very Mortal? Is that that works for you? Okay, good. Obi-Wan? No, that's just kind of mildly.
Obi 1 out of 10.
Obi-Wan out of 10. Very nice. I knew you guys were the right pick for this cast. Kayla, would you like to go next, or would you like me to go next?
I can go next. I have a lot of similarities with Ryan, so this one is not though. I have Men as my biggest disappointment for 5. Yes, in general. The movie Men, Jesse Buckley, and I don't remember that strange man's name.
Rory Kinnear.
Yes, Rory Kinnear.
Yeah.
It is a really good. I love like the feel, the vibe, the setting. Everything's beautiful. It's strange. It's emotional, and I love it. Spoilers. I love it all the way up until like the car crash. He's getting all these injuries that are mirroring her deceased ex-fiance, whatever they were, boyfriend. He died in a terrible accident, and they're mirroring all of his injuries, and that is so cool. And then he starts giving birth to himself.
Yeah, he does.
Over and over again.
Yeah, he does.
You're right.
It's just such a sharp turn of like, what the fuck is that? Why is that happening? And Eric tried to explain it as like, oh, it's just representing like the cycle of this will just go on and men and blah blah. No, it doesn't. It's
I had to
just,
look it up, by the way. That wasn't my take.
Like
I think that's right.
it makes enough sense. It's already making sense. You didn't have to go and it's like a grown man giving birth to a grown man.
Children of Men. I saw that movie.
The best moment was last week.
I didn't see it, but was it kind of like
Eric had the birth scene on his long list.
I did have the birth scene on my long list.
Was it like
This
Jim
moment?
Carrey when he was coming out of like
Except
the
with blood
fake
and
rhino?
placenta. With blood and placenta involved. Yes,
Yeah,
exactly like that.
He starts
Out of a
as like
man.
an Adam type looking character, like kind of half leaf person, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be like the first man, and then like it just keeps going from there and there, and I don't know.
All of that is cool. If I could just
Yeah.
cut out just that part, because then I like the ending too. It's just like a 10 little bit. Whoop. That does not belong there. It just does not fit. It does not work. I don't like it. That was number 5.
That was a good
Number
one. I'm glad we got to talk about that.
Number 4, I have Ozark, and it's again something very specific. I hate Wendy, but that's for all 4 seasons. There's a scene in the very first episode of season 4, the latest season, where they get into a car accident. That's like how it starts. Boom, terrible car accident. You don't know what happens. You watch the whole fucking season, and you're like, oh shit. Here it comes. This is the accident. This is happening. It's the last episode. You see it all coming together. And they all walk away. Oh, that's cool. Everybody's fine. It could have been like so good. I was telling her like, oh shit, she's been dreaming. Like this bitch is in a coma. Everybody's dead. It all fell apart. No, they're all fine. They're all walking away. All is
Didn't
cool.
matter
They
at all.
continued with more mischief. Like it was stupid. That was Ozark, number 4. Number 3, I have Obi-Wan out of 10 or whatever you said.
Obi-Wan out of 10, yes.
I'll be wrong. There you go.
That's good.
Again, a character we, love and hold dearly and just was kind of boring. I don't need besides the best thing out of that was that little Leia's like run. Her little run was so cute. That was the best thing that happened in that show.
Poor Flea.
Yeah. He has another chance later on in the year.
Oh yeah.
Number 2, I also have Moon Knight. Again, you don't know this character, but you love Oscar Isaac. You know he's gonna bring some shit to the table, and it's like I think the worst part is the fantastical part. I was kind of into like the who am I, Steven, whatever. Like that weird identity thing I was into. Even a little bit of the Ethan Hawke therapy part, but once it started to get like fantastical and unrealistic and unrelatable and believable, it just missed.
100%.
And then number 1, I have Thor: Love and Thunder. Great point, Aaron. Why the fuck did they name it that? Love and Thunder, like literally, it's at the post-credit scene that they're like, "Oh yeah, this is what Love and Thunder was." Like
Some love, here's some thunder.
which again is like
the girl's
what the
name
fuck?
is Love.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But how did you have any? Did you think there was gonna be a little girl randomly at the end of this movie that was named Love? The entire time you were watching it, I just thought it was like, oh hey, it's Thor and Lady Thor, and that's Love and Thunder. Nope, it's
I believe
because there's
Dr.
a little.
Lady Thor. Okay.
Thank you for that.
PhD.
There's a
Just
little.
Like Tycho
I don't.
completely uninterested.
It seems so weird. It was very strange. Not a fan. Number 1.
Thor: Love and Thunder. So that actually does lock in
Blunder. I
5
don't
already.
like Chunder. I'm gonna stop you on that.
No Thunder.
We don't need to hear
Blunder?
your 5.
No. I think my 5
I like it.
are unneeded. Yeah,
Thor,
we don't need
Thor and
mine.
Blunder is good. Thor and
No, I've
Blunder.
got.
Eric, why don't you just hop off real quickly?
Yeah,
Just,
yeah.
we'll finish
You guys can
the
finish the show.
Irrelevant.
5. Thor, Love, and Blunder. All right, Blunder. Is that okay? It's a blunder.
Yes.
I like it.
All right.
You gotta
All right.
you gotta play the Africa song every time.
Bore and Blunder.
Okay. See, now you guys, you're doing too
But
much.
there's it's bore and you know.
Or
there's
Blunder.
another-
Chor and Blunder.
No, let's go back to Chunder. Chor and Chunder. Chor and
I don't like it.
That sounds like a
already
weird
have
hipster
a book
restaurant.
we have a book of boring Fett. We're good. We're getting all of the adjectives
That's
here.
why I changed it to Chor and Chunder.
What about Gore in Blunder?
God damn it.
Gore's in the movie.
No gore.
Or
No gore.
I'm not doing my 5. We're done. No. All right, let's start it off with Strange World. A movie I really, really enjoyed. Just bombed. Just did horrible. No one saw it. No one talked about it. It was just a complete I just wrote Strange Bomb. Strange World bombs.
That was a streamy. Come on, man. That movie should have.
I got like no.
It's streamy.
I liked it.
I
I watched
liked
with my
it
kids.
too.
I told it was wonderful. I thought it was
I
one
saw
of the
with my kids the other day.
I liked the movie fine, but like Chippendale was a streamy as well, and I really like I don't think Chippendale would have been a box office hit. I think it should have been on a streaming, and it was.
Yeah, I think Strange World just had like such a big cool story. To me
Very
it's up there
colorful.
with it's up there with any other like Disney animation studio kind of big budget kind of movie with a fantastical tale and a fantastical world and colorful characters and all those things. The dog legend was fantastic, and
But it had no songs. Not even Chippendale Rescue Ranger, you know? They got a song.
I sang it while I was playing it.
Needed a song.
I heard it a lot. Yes.
Don't start. So me and Tomas had one really, really close. I put Pokemon Refuses to be Great as my number 4. They've got all the money in the world. They've got the backing of Nintendo, one of the most successful, the most successful maybe gaming company on the planet. A rabid fan base who like just wants them to be good and great. Wants them to be great, wants them to...
They'll happily pay for it, too.
Will happily pay for
whatever
it.
it takes.
But the problem is they'll also pay for crap. And they continue to pay for... Although Legends Arceus was not crap. Me and Kayla enjoyed it like crazy, but there were just a million cracks to that game. And from what I've heard, we haven't cracked into Scarlet quite yet, but from what I've heard, a lot of the same cracks, lack of polish, those kind of things are not there, and Tomas tends to agree. So we could have the Breath of the Wild but Pokemon, and we just aren't getting it quite yet from Game Freak and the Pokemon Company and Nintendo, and we deserve better. Me as a newly minted Pokemon fan, we deserve better. Number 3, Will Smith sucks. Did you catch this one? He slapped a man on stage at the Oscars. Before that, he talked about his weird sex stuff to anyone who wouldn't listen, and then after that, he refused to apologize for any of it. Yeah, he's a shithead, and it's in. A lot of people in Hollywood are shitheads, like they suck as people or whatever. They're unapologetic about it. But
Welcome to Earth.
But I thought Will Smith was one of the good guys. I thought Will Smith was all right. And Will Smith's not all right, man. He kind of sucks. And it was really disappointing. It was very disappointing. I just wrote "will suck." That's what I wrote.
It is literally what made me get off Facebook. I couldn't take seeing people talk about it, seeing it. I literally was like, nope, I am out of Facebook world. I never went back.
Man.
I wish more celebrities would hit other celebrities. Honestly,
Yeah.
I'd be so much happier if every stupid award show went that way.
They'd give more ratings.
People were just hitting each other. It'd be so much more than a bunch of just rich douchebags patting themselves on the back.
There's a place for it. I'm not saying there aren't a few that obviously deserve it, but
So Mike said, for my number 2, it's right in line with one of Mike's. Mike said God of War Ragnarok doesn't land the plane. I would say that God of War has a coward ending, is how I would put it.
Yes.
I think I loved that game. It's going to come up very much, I think, later in this this pod. Loved it. And it's set up in such a way. It's going in such a direction. We had the previous game where we have a glyph of Kratos is going to die. He's going to sacrifice himself. He's going to... Atreus is going to kill him. Who knows? What's the big mystery? Something's going to happen. And Kratos, all of the marketing, everything, all of the first 30 hours of the game are how, we just got to deal with it. We got to, it's fine. He's ready for it. It's on to the next generation and everything else. Everything ahead of the game was all about how this is going to wrap up the Norse saga. We're done with the Norse aspect of this. We're doing 2 games, and then we're on to something new. And then the ending comes, and there's no real loss, at least not to Kratos or to Atreus. It's just set up for a God of War 3 in every way, shape, and form. You could easily just, if you released a God of War 3 tomorrow, still in the Norse setting, there's still lots of little loose ends and everything else. They refuse to, any sort of finality whatsoever, in that ending. But, I think that's, they took the coward's way out, on God of War Ragnarok. Still a great game.
Trying to leave Kratos as he can have a redemption arc as a god. It's just stupid. Atreus is his redemption. Should have been okay, my life was just such a waste. Basically, really, it was nothing but terrible, terrible things.
But I've done something with my life, one beautiful thing with my life, and not only that, I've spent the last 40 minutes, putting the finishing touches on it, making sure that my legacy is secured, in that way. We'll wait up on him, though.
Mm-hmm.
I want him to come back. Beauty.
He just went out on a high note. That's all it was.
He did.
Yeah, I did.
Leave him wanting more. That's what they say. And I wanted him to finish that sentence.
Ours ending. I'm gonna tell you,
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it in a meta way, they had to keep him alive because they want to make the game again, and none of the other characters are likable enough to be a main character. I would play a Thrud game 100%. I wanted to use her to play with, to use those swords she has.
Oh, I would play a Thrud game. I'd play a Freya game and a Atreus game. I'd play a combination of any of those characters. I want to be in that world, or even just the. I was done with the Norse thing. You told me, okay, you're done with the Norse world and those characters and everything else. Okay, wrap up those characters in that world and take me on to the next thing. But you've set up Atreus to be the
Right.
the
But
thing.
Atreus is continuing his adventure, but he's clearly continuing it into more Norse mythology.
Exactly.
So if they're saying they're done, but his whole thing is he's gonna continue with the whole gods and giants of Norse stuff, so they can't really say they're done and then have him maybe as an expansion or a spin-off. And they're just trying to say that Atreus is gonna continue with the Norse gods, but Kratos is not. I don't know.
It's just a mess. It's a mess. Mike, I finished your sentence. I hope I did you justice.
But I was talking for a long time until I realized I had no internet. So I will leave it at God of War is just kind of done for me. I don't know, on an excitement level. I don't know. It needs to hide out for a while.
Yeah. I'm not done with it, but it upset me. It disappointed. I'm not mad, I'm disappointed, Last but not least, this goes with a couple things on here. So at the beginning of this year, beginning of last year, the beginning of 2022, we said, man, we're getting an Alex Garland, we're getting a Jordan Peele, we're getting a Taika Waititi, and we're getting a Robert Eggers movie all in 1 year. We're getting Men, we're getting Nope, we're getting Thor, and we're getting The Northman. And they're all kind of meh.
Men is good.
Men's fine. I don't think I hate that birthing scene. Yeah, but it didn't. The birthing scene didn't add anything for me. Like, it wasn't something like, it was whatever. It was just whatever. That movie was kind of just fine. We already talked about Thor. Nothing there. Nope had some compelling scenes, as did Men. I would say Men and Nope were both just a bunch of compelling scenes that didn't come together for me. And then same thing with The Northman. Alexander Skarsgård was terrifying, and there were some cool battle scenes. The final battle, at the end was cool or whatever else. But
no, it wasn't.
I thought it was cool. It was just, hey man, two dudes fighting naked on a volcano, that's cool, but
Star Wars.
It's not good. It's cool. It's not good. And that's why that's disappointing. We just had the best of the best doing kind of the least this year as far as that goes.
Here.
So we got a list, folks. Let's put all of the bolded ones. Is it gonna let me cut them? Nah, it's not gonna let me cut them. All right. While I do that, I should read them off so you guys remember them. So we have Obi-Wan out of 10. We've got Pokemon, too many games, not enough polish or Polish. We aren't 100% sure. God of War Ragnarok doesn't land the plane, or is a coward of an ending. That's no Moon Knight we've got on there. Chrono Cross Radical Downer Edition is bolded here. Book of Boring Fett also bolded. And Thor, Love, and Blunder bolded as well. And I guess I could wrap it. Somehow we could wrap in, Mike liked Men, so maybe that, I don't know, Did Ryan or Aaron, did either of you see Men?
I didn't see Men. When she started talking, I thought she just meant men generally, and I was relatable. I get it. No, I didn't see it. I heard a lot of shit generally about it, so I didn't bother watching it.
Me either.
There's some compelling stuff there, but
I think it's good.
I think it's worth watching. You just need it would be really good if it just didn't have that part in it.
What do we feel about any of the non-bolded one? Anything, Tomas not having enough time for his PS5? Anything about Wednesday?
Right. It makes me upset that Tomas didn't have enough time. So
HBOMax Killing a bunch of stuff.
Are we supposed to be seeing this Excel sheet?
I haven't shared it with you guys. No. Last time I did that, it looked bad on the stream. So on the video, I should say. It's not stream. We're just recording.
I liked Wednesday.
I did too.
My kids liked it. I didn't. Is Tomas one of those people that doesn't like woke things? Is that what he's saying? Too edgy.
Exposed.
Tomas is kind of old-fashioned.
Was it great? No. Was it enjoyable? Yeah, very much so. I think I enjoyed it. My only issue with Wednesday is we get it. What will we do next to make it interesting? I don't know. We'll see.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
As someone who's seen 4 episodes of Ginny and Georgia, another Netflix show with a similar tone as Wednesday is so much better than that show.
Nice.
So why'd you watch those 4 episodes? You just decided to watch Ginny and Georgia, or?
Selena's been watching it.
Oh, okay.
I almost
it
put
good, but
the monster is the worst part about Wednesday. It's very weird, but it almost made my disappointing list. But
It does kind of remind me of the what are the stone enemies in like all of the Dark Souls games? The ones that turn you into the basilisks. It looked like
they're like weird frog imps or something.
Yeah, because it had those weird bug eyes like they do.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just seemed like it was like really cut out of something else and put into this.
It's
It
bad
didn't
CGI.
match at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Wednesday's staying, I think.
I think
No.
special effects in general could have been on anyone's. Like, I was watching Doctor Strange again, and there's like some really rough.
Really?
Yeah, the beginning stuff, like when America's like running away from the big demon, it just looks like she's just behind a green screen, like
It looks
totally
bad.
Like,
It looks bad, man. I
I
agree with
remember
you.
seeing it, not noticing any of that, but then listening to some like pods about it and stuff, and people were hating on it. So I
some
don't know.
stuff looks. It's like they had a budget for like, let's make this part look really good, and I think that's true about a lot of things this year. Not Andor though. Andor looks great.
Oh, God. Andor.
Andor
So I think-
doesn't really have too much.
That
People.
fucking Luthen's fucking spaceship shit. That shit looked really good, and it was fucking awesome.
So I think staying with Star Wars here, Obi-Wan out of 10 because I love saying it. I think that should probably stay. Did anyone like super enjoy Obi-Wan?
I liked Obi.
Okay.
For me, Boba Fett is just so much more dog shit than
Yeah.
Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
fine with that too. I kind of
Yeah.
just dismissed it.
Right. Obi-Wan was just pure. Well, they both were kind of just pure fan service, trying to like. These are like probably like two of the most like. The one is the most popular character from the original trilogy, and the other one's the most popular character from the prequel trilogy. It's like let's just give them a show, and then they like. It's the day before filming. Like, well, we should probably write the show now, and I think they both came out that way. But at least Obi-Wan had good acting and like
Some good scenes.
and cool scenes and cool like thoughts behind stuff. The Boba Fett was just all over the place and so boring. And then they're like, "Well, you guys don't know what's going on. Here's some Power Ranger outlaws," and it just kept doing that weird stuff. Like I thought it'd be so cool, like a Star Wars Sopranos. Show me that. Like, but no, it's like he's like, I'm a gang boss, but I'm gonna run around this place like a superhero and try to save everyone. It was so silly.
Now I can't get him out of my head as Boba Fett, Tony Soprano. That visual is going to be stuck with me now.
They should have done it.
Tony had a back to tank thing.
Right.
Hey.
Chrono Cross Radical Downer Edition. I don't think anyone liked it, right? Was that a fan favorite for anyone? Okay, let's maybe keep that one on the.
I hate it.
Was I too hard? Were me and Tomas too hard on Pokemon this year?
No.
No, no,
You should-
No
you could
way.
be on the 5 for sure. It's
I think-
bullshit.
I think it's legitimate. Every person I've talked to, like just in that community, fucking hated it with a passion, or like strongly disliked it. I feel like Nintendo is super duper lazy, so I agree with that being in the top 5.
I played both of them, and they're not like it's like they put all their time into updating like the playing mechanics, and we're like, if we update the mechanics, people will just accept if it looks like shit, and then they like stop working on the game, and you spend half the game falling through the floor, fighting Pokemon while your Pokemon is not out there, but it's still somehow attacking. It's like all weird stuff like that.
I mean, I get that this is a company that's been making DS games for like 20 fucking years, but like, come on, you gotta if you're gonna go into, you know, your first HD game and you decide you're gonna release 3 of them in the same fucking year, like, and instead of just taking the time on one of those, just rubs me really the wrong way. Like, it's just a cash grab.
It felt that way.
One of the
Yeah.
biggest media companies in the fucking world really needs a big quarter. Like, come on. Like,
'Cause we're in this like era of like kind of harp on that a little bit. Is like, you know, so many game studios now, they get so much shit for unfinished games, and that's the last thing you expect on Nintendo, because they're relatively like most Nintendo games are relatively bug free, and that's what you kind of like expect going in a Nintendo game. despite you love or hate it or graphics, whatever, it doesn't matter. But usually polished games, right?
Yeah, it has been the standard for the Nintendo seal of approval. You know.
I don't think it's fair to throw Nintendo under the bus because it's Game Freak. It's like,
Yeah,
Nintendo doesn't have a lot of say with them. Like, they publish the games, they're partners, but
that's fair.
Nintendo just can't go like, hey, you want some of the Zelda guys to come over and like show you how to do this? Like, that's not how it's working.
Maybe it should. Maybe it should work that way. Maybe the Zelda guys should make a Pokemon.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, feeling pretty strong about Book of Boring Fett. Pokemon Refuses to Be Great and Chrono Cross Radical Downer Edition. Let's talk about the God of War in the room. Kayla and Aaron. Ryan, have you played God of War?
Yeah, I haven't finished it.
Okay. Maybe you'll feel different. Kayla, what did you feel about kind of how that one wrapped up?
Specifically?
Well, that's what's on the thing is, you know, me and Mike both didn't really dig the way it wrapped up, the ending, the latter portion of it.
Yeah, I can agree that the ending was cowardly. It would have hit a lot better as a whole if they would have done more.
Aaron, you also put some hours into God of War as well, right?
Yeah, I did. I think the overall ending and like what it means for the series is what you guys said. So it was safe, and they went with the economic route so they can clearly sell it more. I really didn't like that. I liked how, like, I guess from character point of view, like sorry, Ryan, like Brock's funeral and things like that. I thought that stuff was like really nice, like a really nice point to end the game if you don't have a lot of extra stuff to do after that. But yeah, I think they should have done it with more of a note of finality. Like, I don't know if they can just be like, oh yeah, we're done with the Norse gods, not because it all has wrapped up nicely, but because we say we're done and we're gonna move on and sell you a game from somewhere else. I feel like they could have finished with the Norse gods by finishing the Norse gods story. So
Yeah, I think that pretty much mirrors what I was feeling about it. Let's keep it on here for a while. I don't know if I was too harsh because I still did love that game. I don't know. I still sunk 50 hours. I did. It didn't sour it completely.
Did you, though?
I'll say it. It changed where it. Spoilers for the you know.
It's okay. Do you want to worry about me?
No, I just meant spoilers for the rest of the NOTYs. It
For his
changed
list.
where it was on my list.
Good. To 6.
So I don't think
right?
anyone liked Thor: Love and Blunder. I think that's there's no love for the Blunder of Thor.
Real bad movie. Those goats. Oh my god. What was Taika doing? What did he?
It was okay, like the one
Tessa
time.
Thompson.
Like, it was fine the one time.
I feel like he sabotaged himself just to get out of the Disney machine or something. Like, I don't understand how the man who's just like made some of my favorite movies and God, this is just such a miss. Like,
He's too busy making out with 2 chicks at once, apparently.
Hey, don't knock it till you try it. I'm going to take Obi-Wan out of 10 off the board. I don't think there's a ton of passion about, Obi-Wan here.
I forgot that the show happened this year.
That's kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
But
What's our list?
So the 6 remaining are Book of Boring Fett, Pokemon Refuses to Be Great, Chrono Cross Radical Downer Edition, Thor: Love and Blunder, God of War Ragnarok Doesn't Land the Plane, and That's No Moon Knight. So that's 6. We got to get it down to 5. And then we got to figure out an order here. I don't know if Book of Boring Fett was number 1 most, like, awful, disappointing thing of the year. We could put Will Smith up there. I don't mind. I can bring him up. I can get him up there.
I didn't play the remaster of Chrono, but
I feel like Chrono Cross that's a port of a PS1 game, and I don't know, like the chances of it having bugs or whatever, chance of it not being fantastic are a little higher than some things. So maybe that's not. Maybe that's 5. I don't know.
The port for like Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VIII was really good, and they ran smoothly. Where Chrono Cross actually looks better than those other games to me, like on the PS1, but they still managed to make it look worse than those other 2 games. I don't know, that's why I'm so upset about it. But.
Okay. Hey, let's keep it on there. Moon Knight, I was only mildly disappointed on Moon Knight. I didn't hate it. Thought it was okay. I thought there was good things. I like Stephen Grant, right? Is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
One of his names.
I liked him. I liked Mike's version of him, Mike's voice. And some of the visual stuff was pretty cool. Like when they went to the underworld and stuff like that. That was cool.
Yeah.
Field of Reeds,
Tell me what the ending meant, Eric. Tell me that shit.
Oh, I don't remember the ending of Moon Knight, Mike. Come on. Didn't Tim Robbins show up? I don't know.
Someone showed up.
I don't remember. To tell you the God's honest truth, I
there was a
remember.
7th Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, I don't remember a lot of Moon Knight, to tell you the truth. God of War? Are we feeling
It stays.
It stays? Okay.
Oh,
That's my vote.
damn.
Does anyone have a vote for what should go out of these 6? Moon Knight goes. Anyone else feel strongly about Moon Knight goes?
Yeah, I think that's fine. Personally, I think it's okay.
Kayla, Moon Knight was one of yours, right?
Yes.
What do you feel about that?
I was one of the people with Moon Knight on their list.
Same.
Right.
I'm rescinding my knight.
All right.
Couple people added on their list versus what's on there only once.
All the 6 that we have currently are all doubles or triples.
Mm-hmm. Eric had God of War as well.
Me and Mike had God of War.
I have not said one word about it. Other than, the ending was cowardly.
Yeah.
See? Kayla votes for God of War to stay.
All right. Moon Knight leaves. Moon Knight leaves, guys. I think Ryan was into it.
So what? Pokemon's on, right?
Pokemon, Boba Fett, Chrono Cross, Thor: Love and Thunder, God of War would be the
one thing I can say about Pokemon is that's not like hey, they only did it this year, because they be doing that shit. That's not they did it in 2022 thing. They just are. They always do it, don't they?
Well,
there's always no polish on that.
Like Sword and Shield was like supposed to be their toe in the water. Like, let's try to do this thing on a bigger scale. And then Arceus was like, oh, okay, they can do this. Like, this is rough. This is rough as fuck. Like, they're gonna do this. And Arceus comes out like the next fucking week. It seems they announced Scarlet and Violet, and man, it just bums me out really bad that game is one side of the coin. Like Aaron said, like the gameplay stuff has never been better, and just can't get the tech. Like, come on, it sucks. I think it should make the 5.
So, Kayla, you think Pokemon's less disappointing than Moon Knight?
I think that it's not a 2022 problem.
Right. I think the reason that I put it on specifically was like Pokemon Arceus specifically was kind of hyped as, oh, this could be the Breath of the Wild for Pokemon. Like the initial like reveals and stuff were This is going to be open world. You'll be able to go around and everything else. And at its core, that is what it is. You do have an open world, and the Pokemon are all out in there, and you can interact with them and run from them and stuff like that. And it's the colors are cool, but then you like look off into the distance, and the birds are like at 2 frames per second, and like just things are popping in and popping out, and just like the towns feel very kind of not dense. You know, there's not a lot of there's not a population in any of the places and stuff like that. So it's just like you look at it and you're like, man, this could have been, with just a little bit more, this could have been something great. And I'm not a Pokemon scholar, but I don't think they were ever shooting for something that big or that great in the past. And it's like they didn't shoot high enough. I don't know.
Got the buckshot out.
Something like that.
The 5th best-selling game of the year. So
it's
they're never gonna get the, if we don't bear arms right now.
Vote with your wallet, man. That's the best way
Mr.
to listen.
President.
That's what's happening with Dungeons and Dragons right now.
Oh, that's a train wreck. That's a different story.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I don't know. I think Moon Knight was fine, and I don't mind if Pokemon like goes down, like if it's our 5th or something, like most disappointing. I don't know. It was my pick, so I'm biased.
I'm much more disappointed by Pokemon than I am Moon Knight.
Do that. Lock it in. Lock Pokemon in. Hate train. Let's go.
And we're shooting Moon Knight to the moon. He's gone. He's not even in the conversation. So the 5 are Book of Boring Fett, Pokemon Refuses to Be Great, Chrono Cross Radical Downer Edition, Thor Love and Blunder, God of War Ragnarok Doesn't Land the Plane. I like God of War at the bottom of this list because it's still I already said it. I still really enjoyed that game. Just has a safe ending, Aaron put it. A very safe ending. And that's like, I don't know, 10% of the experience, maybe 20. I don't know. Chrono Cross, seems like there was a lot of passion about how bad that was. Was it worse than Boba Fett?
No.
No. Okay. Pokemon. Kayla still really enjoyed. Me and Kayla both still really enjoyed Arceus. It got our like Pokemon kind of interest up. Still want to play Scarlet. Despite the negativity around it. I don't think it needs to be very high. Put it at 4. I'll put it at 4 here. Thor, seems like no one liked Thor at all. I didn't hear much positivity around Thor at all. At least Boba Fett had that Mandalorian episode in there, Is Thor number 1? I also mentioned Thor in my these are 4 movies that were meh thing, so I think we all disliked Thor. Might be the most universal on this list.
Yeah.
It's got to be number 1. It's trash.
I'd put that award number 1. But...
Nah, you're crazy.
You're just on that train. Get off.
Nah. Just like Kratos, I can't just jump over a log to get to the train. I have to go on a long journey, Caleb, to get to the train car. I have to fight 7 bosses. Then I can ride the train that crashes. I can do that.
What do we think of this list, guys, for most disappointing thing? Thor Love and Blunder, Book of Boring Fett, Chrono Cross Radical Downer Edition, Pokemon Refuses to Be Great, and God of War Ragnarok Doesn't Land the Plane.
I don't like it, but it's fine.
I mostly agree with it.
Aside from God of War being 5, what else don't you agree with, Mike? What's worse?
It's fine. It's fine.
Aaron?
You're
Aaron's
muted.
on mute.
Sorry, my kids are talking.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, the order of them doesn't really bother me. I mean, I'm disappointed. That's all that really needs to be known.
All right, speak now, forever hold your peace. Let's do it. All right, locking it in. Most disappointing thing goes to Thor, Love and Blunder, Book of Boring Fett, Chrono Cross Radical Downer Edition, Pokémon refuses to be great, and God of War Ragnarok doesn't land the plane. Most disappointing thing last year, 2022. Before we get on to best character, anyone need to take a potty break, anything like that? Naughty potty break. We're going on to best character. Once again, Tomas provided his list of best characters.
His mom and
It's all his personal friends. It's all us, surprisingly. It's just the 5 of us. So that's very nice of him.
Well, the question is, how did he rate them, though? Who's number 1? Who's number 5? That's what I really want to know.
Particular order.
Oh, okay. All right.
See, he doesn't put them in any order, but I do. So I'm going to read them off in the order I think they should go.
Eric, and Eric. Okay.
Yeah,
Dylan.
Yeah.
So he starts off with, and he's got little descriptions of them as well, little notes. So I'll read those off as well. Willie Jack from Reservation Dogs is his number 5. She made the list last year, if you remember, from the NOTYs 2021 of our best characters. And he put, she's just cool. That's all he had to say about Willie Jack. She's just cool. Marcus from The Bear, he put Da Bear, but it's The Bear. And he said, I like baking, and so does Marcus. So, Marcus from The Bear. Luis from This Fool, he reminds him of Ray, and he also reminds me
feel that way
of Ray quite a bit. So that
I literally
I ran into Ray like a week ago.
I can see why Tomas likes this.
Oh. Ray is Tomas's brother, and Luis definitely reminds me of Ray as well. It's very good. Daemon he put Thrones, but I think he meant House of the Dragon. Daemon Targaryen, and he just put fuck crab people. So I couldn't agree more.
No.
to be 100% honest, I couldn't agree more with that one. And his last one's a bit of interesting here. So he picked Durin from Rings of Power, Lord of the Rings of Power, and he said, always had a hankering for working in the mines, and I'm short, so I'd probably be a dwarf in a Tolkien world. So
he's a mighty mouse, you know.
He's a dwarf.
A dwarf.
I think Tomas is a
Durin's Day, man. We're talking about Bilbo. Durin's Day. It's just getting all hoppity up in here.
It's getting hoppity.
Tolkien-y.
How about me? I'll start this one off, right? For my best characters. Number 5. Namor, from Black Panther Wakanda Forever, the main villain of the story. I think a really awesome addition to Marvel. They've had a real problem with their villains overall, and frankly, I think he's probably my 3rd favorite villain at this point, after Thanos and then Killmonger from the first Black Panther movie. So at least Black Panther's doing villains right. That movie was a little up and down for me overall, but I think Namor, his backstory, the land Atlantis, or it's not Atlantis, but his under the water kind of world, and his people and everything else, and his powers are cool as shit. And apparently he's got a huge peen as well. They had to CGI it out. So hey, good on Namor.
Big energy, man.
Wakanda forever. Jeez.
They don't fucking CGI out them titties though.
No.
God forbid, ladies see an outline.
He had wonderful titties as well. Pearl is my number 4 from 2 movies, actually. She got into X and Pearl. We get to see her throughout her whole life, basically, and there's some really good character work by like Mia Goth, some monologues, some really awesome, I guess, practical like aging effects that they do. Just really, really intriguing, batshit crazy character that I really loved. I don't know. I thought Pearl was great. In both those movies. The movies were fine, but Pearl was the standout. Number 3, Amicia Darun from A Plague Tale Requiem. She has to make very akin to The Last of Us. She has to make a life-altering, planet-altering choice, and she makes a different choice than Joel does. Let's say after an epic journey around the world to save a person, her brother. She is forced to make a choice between his death and potentially the death of the whole planet, and it's quite compelling, and she's just really cool. She's as cool as like an Ellie or Ellen Ripley or any really cool female badass character, but the moral kind of gray areas she constantly gets into throughout those games are really awesome, and her dynamic with her and her brother Hugo, yes, very good. I did not remember his name. I needed help. She's put in the worst possible situations every chance that game can get, and responds to them in a very human way, and oftentimes that distresses Hugo, and the world is dark in those times.
He don't give a fuck. He'll use his rap powers.
Well, it's interesting because it's very much like the Kratos Atreus, what kind of what do you want to leave for the world? What kind of god do you want to be? All of those things in this tale about rats, and the plague and all that. And Amicia is front and center, and I think a really cool character, a really under served character, because no one plays those games apparently. It's unfortunate.
She sounds really cool. I just can't play that game. I don't know. I'm just not going to do it.
It's so pretty too. That game is really beautiful.
Okay.
I started the first one. I played a little bit. It's okay.
The second one is an incredible expansion of like all the systems in it. The combat's better. The areas are bigger and wider. The enemy are different. There's more enemies. I think if you can get through the first one, if it's like Dragon or anything else, the second one's really good.
Love the character.
Dragons.
The Riddler is my number 2 from The Batman. Have you heard of? I thought Paul Dano was. Mike is making the worst faces, by the way. I thought he was terrifying, and I think they used him nice and sparingly. He was in and out and in and out. And it was kind of like Jaws a little bit, like don't show too much of the shark, and it adds to the thing. You get to see him right at the beginning commit like a gruesome murder, and he's just kind of peppered in throughout. And I think when he's unmasked, and whether he's in prison talking to the Batman or at the table, at the diner, he's just completely unhinged, and I think he's done the best like Heath Ledger Joker impression that anyone who's tried to do that since has. I think he's been the most successful, honestly. So I really enjoyed the Riddler from the Batman.
I really believed crazy with him. That was the most important part. Like a mentally ill person, like scarily so, and I agree with that. Yeah.
Just I don't know. He scared me. And my last one was another character that scared me. Scarlet Witch from Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange 2. We talked a lot about Scarlet Witch, and I think the thing that I keep coming back to with that character and that movie and everything else was I was completely out on Scarlet Witch by the time WandaVision ended. I thought, didn't really like how that wrapped up. Didn't like where her story was going or anything, or just her as a character. I think she was real kind of underserved in a lot of ways, and she just became this monster in Doctor Strange too, and she was just like this unstoppable force. And all of the best scenes, all of the coolest, creepiest scenes were ones where she was like front and center and just like wreaking havoc in that world. Yeah, Sam Raimi got to cook, and it was fun. So Scarlet Witch, big turnaround for me.
Good pick.
Who's next? Aaron.
You look interested.
Oh yeah, I was just giving you a thumbs up. I mean,
I thought you were like, yeah, hell yeah.
This guy.
I was giving you a thumbs up. I liked your list. Not enough to voice it out loud, but I guess I am now.
It's very nice,
Right.
Aaron.
My list is not in any particular order. The first thing I came up with was Misty from Yellow Jackets, which is Christina Ricci. She's like the best part of the whole show. It's really good. Next, I have Naru from Prey, which is the girl, the main character. The Grabber from Black Phone, which is Ethan Hawke.
Sure.
That was my
That's
text
creepy.
sound. And Sydney from The Bear.
Mm.
Oh, wait, and then I also, that's 4. And then I have also Brock from God of War, because his parts were the best, even though you barely like play with them, but his cutscenes were the best part of that game, so.
I love
Good
Brock.
list.
Sydney from The Bear. I don't know how she spells her name, you know?
Sydney.
Well,
I like the actor's name. Because the actor's name, no, I have no idea how she spells it. She's got a different name.
Can we just say Tomas voted for Sydney as well?
No, he voted for Marcus from The Bear.
She likes to go orders.
Oh well. I'll go next. Here I go. My number 5 is the reason why I didn't put Marvel as like the biggest disappointment, and it's Jennifer Walters from She-Hulk.
Nice.
I love her so much. She's great. Played by
Me too.
Tatiana Maslany, I believe. And just to show that I was not like digging the trailer for anything leading up to it. And she pulled it off. She does the Ally McBeal thing super well, and just wanted to see, was interested in her just day-to-day life dealing with this, newfound superhero-ness. And I thought it was really well done for the most part, and just love her. My number 4 is Pearl. Mia Goth in Pearl. Man, just to see that story of, her wanting to get out of this shithole fucking town, and these aspirations, these dreams that she has, but her nightmares are what take over the dreams at the end. And she just wants to, that whole monologue that she has, and really the most impressive thing to me was, did you guys stay and watch like the close up on her during the credits?
Yes.
Oh man, it's like 90 seconds of her just crying and this like smile, and man, Mia Goth just sold it. Like, apparently, like while they were filming X, apparently she just had the idea, like, oh, why don't we do like a movie about her?
Wow.
Like younger, and they did it, and she pulled it off.
Was she like, she was like even a part writer on it, I believe.
I believe, yeah. And next I have Jerry West.
Hell yeah.
Winning Time, played by Jason Clarke. Just this manic, sweaty mess. Like they make him, like they make the NBA logo out to be like a sex crazed like Vietnam veteran almost. Like he can't even like go to the Boston Garden. He doesn't even want to leave the limo because he just has so many bad memories, so many bad losses in his career to the Boston Celtics. And he's such a big part of the show, and just his energy balances well with John C. Reilly's just kind of nonchalant, like rich guy energy that he's got going on for most of it, and just loved it. And it cast of great characters. I thought Jerry was the standout.
Hell yeah.
Next, I have Viserys Targaryen, played by Paddy Considine. Really, the only character I liked in the whole show. The reason I kind of stayed with it. He's just a guy that had no business being king of of the biggest nation in the world, but did the best he could, got to play with his miniatures from time to time, and just wanted to make people happy and the people around him happy. And yeah. We find out that he has this like huge weight put on him that's passed on from king to king, this secret. And what he does to try to balance that secret with trying to, keep his family happy. And the long walk scene, I think it's like second to last episode of the season. And it's just so well done. He's falling apart. He's like decaying. He has some like, is it the grayscale or whatever that he's caught?
It's something, yeah.
And they're just like cutting parts off of this guy, just hoping that putting leeches on him, trying to just keep him alive as long as possible. And he musters up the strength to walk to the throne and for his daughter's aid. And man, it's just so good. And he just wants things to go well. And I think he gets to die thinking that he helped, but not really knowing what happens after. But
yeah, he did great.
Really love Viserys. My number one is Bandit Healer from a little show called Bluey. And Bandit is the father of Bluey on the show. And he's just the best. He's on the greatest kid show ever made, I think. Bandit is like the perfect dad, and he's not perfect. He's not like the Brady Bunch or something like that. He's just, whenever his kids need like attention or they want to play some dumb game and he has to pretend to be a baboon in a zoo or something, he's always up for it. And even when he's not, and he shows signs of like, I just want to sit on my phone right now instead of like playing this game with you or dealing with your bullshit, he does it. And he even in his mistakes comes out the other side realizing it and fixing it. And I want to be like Bandit.
It's probably Healer 2 E's, right? Like heal,
Yeah.
like you tell a dog. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Good.
Like a blue healer, which is
Yeah.
they're all
Probably
the healer
not.
breed. Yeah.
they all have blood mixed with dingo. Like some dogs are mixed, like partially wolves. They're bred with dingoes. That's their Australian dogs. That's
So-
crazy.
He'll only like half eat your baby then.
Right. He'll leave you at least 2/3.
Like legs.
Right. I started at the top. The hardest part to eat.
They're Australian. They're not really smart. I got you, Australia. Got
Yep.
him.
We have any listeners in Australia?
I don't know if we've had any.
No, we're not gonna have
Yeah.
any.
Lana Pierce, we're sorry. I love God of War.
Yeah, see, we would have had her, but you hated God of War. What do we got? We got Ryan and Kayla. Who's flipping a coin?
You can
Is
go,
that a-
Ryan.
I can go.
I'll go last. Yeah.
Okay, best for last. All right, so this is in order. This was much harder for the most disappointing things. I've seen a lot of good characters this year. It's not on my list, but honorable mention. The main character from Tar with Kate Blanchett.
Lydia Tarr.
Amazing. Was that 2022? Maybe it wasn't.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Anyways, so number 5, Evelyn Kwan Wang from Everything Everywhere All at Once. Such a beautiful movie. And seeing her go through all the what I could be, what I could have been, what I could have, that arc, just her, kind of like compartmentalizing like what her life could have been if she didn't, go the path she did with
Run this damn laundry shop.
Exactly, with Raymond. And it tells a very close to the heart for a lot of Asian Americans trying to make it, especially from way back when, starting a business and doing this and that and working the grind, working every day, and things getting mundane, and also showing the aspect of their family and their culture. It was beautiful. I loved her character arc, stuff with her daughter. What a great character. Deserves everything. My number 4, Durin from Rings of Power. Give me the meat and give it to me raw. I mean, that line, he's talking, him and Elrond talking, 2 buds, just trying to figure shit out. Best of buds. That's a Brokeback Mountain story I'd like to see. Durin's so fun, but also his character is just so well written. Everything he says, motivations, it's fantastic. Number 3 is Naru from Prey. Amazing. I loved it. Yeah, it's such, God, what a, she's got goals, she goes after them, she does it, and it's just, I don't know, it's her character was fucking badass, man. I loved it all the way through.
Yeah.
Number 2, probably a little more personal for me. Eddie Munson. I love Eddie. Eddie, what's not liked about Eddie? Somewhere deep seated in like my youth of being a D&D and not being so charismatic. He's everything I wish I would have been, but also just written so vulnerable. A character who clearly is too scared to go to the next step and graduate and do all these things and go on with life because how shitty the rest of life is. And you see him struggling with his own personal demons and having to do that. And of course, his last scene was amazing, right? Him and what was the character name? The little kid with the curly hair. Dustin, thank you. Dustin. Him and Dustin's relationship was beautiful. I loved it all the way through. And my number 1 is Viserys Targaryen. I mean, that was a perfect character arc if I ever had to write one. He is complex. He was conflicted. He was a terrible king, just trying to do the right thing. Every relationship he has is just it's just shit. With Rhaenyra, Daemon, I mean, everybody. It's just his wife. They all suck. They all suck. The sacrifices, he tries to make, and then being the biggest mistakes of his life. This tug of just, what do I need to do for the kingdom? He's not a strong person, but he has strong character, right? In a lot of ways means good, but doesn't say the right things in the right moments. And of course, kind of what Mike said, that throne walk fucking killed me. It was amazing. He's like, no more milk of the poppy. Fuck it. I know I'm going to die. I need to do this last thing for Nera and try to keep the family together again. One last go. Real raw, taking off that eye patch and having everybody at the table. And one last plea before he dies, just hey, let's just keep it together.
That was my favorite part. Was at the table with the whole family and just shut up, everyone. Let's fucking be a family. That was good.
Patty's performance. Oh, it was so good. I loved it so much. Yeah, that's my number 1.
Nice. Kayla, last but not least.
Right.
Uh-oh.
I think we got our 5. I think.
Yeah, I think we're good.
It's 2 hand signals.
Can you hear
Solid
me?
list, Ryan. Really good.
Right.
Yes, yeah, you're coming in loud and clear.
Sorry.
That was a good one, Ryan. I like that one. I haven't seen the Game of Thrones show, but everything else I liked.
It's good.
My number 5 is Wednesday. This was actually my first experience with Wednesday Addams. I never had any Wednesday. I mean, I obviously knew who she was and Christina Ricci, and I don't know. There's just something about Jenna Ortega's Wednesday that is charming as fuck. Like, she is just smooth. Like, I don't know exactly what Christina Ricci's is, but it doesn't seem as like breakable. Like you can't even get to have a relationship with Christina Ricci, and I feel like with the Jenna Ortega one, I did feel like kind of get to peer in at her a little bit more and just more personable. I liked the show. I liked her.
That dance. So good.
The dance.
Oh yeah.
Got me listening to the Cramps.
I see so much of that
They're
dance.
not good.
Number 4, I have Stede Bonnet, the gentleman pirate from Our Flag Means Death. It's one flag. It's a great show. Stede Bonnet is...
You're right.
The Gentleman Pirate.
Yes, him and Taika Waititi, Blackbeard, like developed just this like weird interest in each other's life. Like, oh well, I want to be a pirate. Here's a pirate. He shows me like his piratey stuff, and I show him how to be more gentleman pirate and my weird, quirky gentleman pirate ways. And spoiler alert, they kind of fall in love, and it's beautiful to watch. They don't even know it until a certain point, and it's innocent and lovely, and I love Stede.
Fucking Stede. That fucker.
Number 3, I have Janine Teagues from Abbott Elementary. So when we did our like initial master list, I didn't think Abbott Elementary was available to me because it didn't end. The second season is still currently airing, but the first season ended in 2021. So I had to figure that out. But still, Janine Teagues still fires.
Is that the older teacher?
No, she's the main, like,
teacher.
young
Quinta.
teacher.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. You follow her the most, and while I did like the second season so far better,
Okay.
just there's more development. It's one of those things where you kind of gotta like dig into it, but she's a Leslie Knope in a Philadelphia school, so I'm in.
That's a good comp. She's
the whole
definitely got some
show
Leslie.
super reminds me of Parks and Rec, but what I love about Parks and Rec is like the relationships that they all have, and Abbott Elementary just doesn't have enough going. It's building that. Number 2, I have Kratos. I think I love Kratos. The 2000, what was that? 16?
18.
The first
18.
17, 18, whatever. Not that long ago. That was my first experience with Kratos. So I don't have too much like holding me back, if you will, of like how terrible he was. But I think that they do a good job showing his struggle with that. I think that they do a really good job showing Kratos's struggle with parenting, especially on his own now. I mean, I just feel like in the first one and then in the beginning of this one, you see him like really struggling with control and do as I say to move into like understanding and respecting and trusting Atreus, and just everything around him. He just really seems to have like be working through his hardened core to be softer. The silliest little thing where like at the very post credits, he like chuckles at a joke that Mimir makes, and it's just so heartwarming to like see him accept himself, because for so much I feel like he just cannot be okay with who he is. And I feel like I agree. It would have meant more if Kratos did die, but he doesn't. I still want more. I still got season tickets to the Kratos party. While my Brock scene is nice of Brock, I feel like Kratos knows going in that he's gonna have to like be there for Brock. He's gonna find out he doesn't have fucking souls, that he died. And I just think it was really personal and emotional for him to do that. I love Kratos.
Oh, his relationship with Mimir is so good.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, they just have like such a respect and brotherhood.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
I want somebody to just like the small talk is like one track that I can just listen to while I'm driving.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get at it like you'll just pull up to your bank and just sit in the boat to let them finish whatever they're talking about. Number one, I have Jennifer Walters. I fucking loved She-Hulk. I was like Mike, I had no interest in it whatsoever. And she's kind of a Leslie Knope too. Like, she just wants to do her fucking job. She's a lawyer. She's not a Hulk. She wants to be a lawyer. She wants to help people. This is who she is. This is what she likes to do. And she can't do just that anymore. She's got to do more. And she's just charming as fuck too.
Hell yeah, Kayla.
That's my list.
That was a fantastic way to end the list because that gives us a solid 5 locked in. I think it's just about putting them in order at this point. So we've got Naru from Prey.
I like that.
We've got Durin from Rings of Power. We've got Pearl from X and Pearl. We've got Viserys Targaryen from House of the Dragon. And we've got Jennifer Walters from She-Hulk. So it's just a matter of getting those bad boys and girls in order there. Let's do that.
Can I vote for Pearl to be at 5? I don't think she needs to be off the list. I don't think she needs to be off. Just she's the lowest.
I like Pearl at 5.
I'll set her at 5 for now. I also love Jennifer Walters. I'm sad that I couldn't get her on my list. She was on my long list, but she couldn't make my 5.
Mike's number 1 as well. Number 1?
She was my 5.
Oh, 5.
Oh,
wrong.
Okay. So you're 5. You're his 1.
My 1.
Okay. She was probably like my number 6 or something on my long list. I think she should be really high. I thought I really enjoyed Jennifer Walters. I think that show doesn't work without her whatsoever.
Yeah.
And like so I
Well,
want her in the top 3 at
3.
least. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll put her right in the middle for now.
I had her as my 8 in my top 10.
I also love Naru.
Yeah, Naru. Yeah, I think
Naru. N-A. Okay.
It was really tough to cut her from my 5. She'd definitely be my 6. I think she's great.
Right. She made the movie like I think I could take or leave Predator movies, but that movie was just all about her character. Like, I would have watched a movie just about that group of Native Americans hunting regular things that aren't aliens. Because her character was so cool. I liked her. I liked her brother. I even kind of liked her mom. Like, it's her grandma, whoever that was supposed to be. Like, yeah. But that was a very character-driven movie, and her character carried the whole movie since she was alone for most of it.
Yeah, I mostly like the French guys. They were pretty cool. Yeah.
Let's put her at 2.
Her character reminded me a lot of...
Yeah. I'm just trying to get something going.
Ryan on
and
Naru.
Compare.
Oh, yeah, just her character reminded me of... I watch an anime called Golden Kamuy, and basically it is pretty much about... Well, there's more too, but it involves the Ainu, which is an indigenous, people to Japan on Hokkaido, and she's very much a hunter, and she's very much trying to prove herself, but also helping these big grown Japanese soldier men. It's just it felt a lot same in a lot of the ways the character. That's why I loved it so much.
So you said number 2 for Naru. Kayla, 2 to Viserys? Or 2 to who? Who's number 1?
Who haven't we seated yet? Viserys and
Viserys
Durin.
and Durin.
Durin.
Well.
Okay.
Durin.
I love
Durin's
Durin.
Durin's good.
I feel like Durin's a number 2.
Durin's
I like
number 2.
Durin at
Wow,
2.
I-
Okay, Durin at 2.
I like Durin a lot. I don't like him at 2 as much. I don't. Let's talk it out a little bit. Let's talk it out. Okay.
I've seen that scene. Like, I got that far. Where they're trying to. The old friends are trying. Like, it's been
Many
decades.
scenes.
It's only been a fraction of a lifetime for one friend, and the other friend, like, man, you missed out. Like my whole life. Like you weren't here, and I thought he sold like that heartache that he held on pretty well.
All right. Durin at 2.
I didn't say I agreed with 2. I'm just saying I like the dude. He's
That's a
really-
great pick.
Yeah, he was also great because like it felt like that chemistry between them two was all one direction. Like I don't feel like Elrond had any chemistry, and then Durin was just like had enough for
Like-
both of them. Like he could have done that scene with a wall, and I would have felt just as charmed by him.
That's a good point.
It makes sense for their characters, and their
He and the
races
wife
stuff.
really.
I think the guy who played Elrond just didn't do that good of a job personally, but
He's got a
Um,
uniquely shaped face.
yeah, I think I was upset
Like-
with the shape of his face. I wasn't happy with that.
He was
Mike knows
really?
what that's like.
He
Michael
looks like a
checked out.
Teletubby.
he was young Ned Stark in the flashback in Game of Thrones,
Mhm.
wasn't he?
Oh, same guy. Okay, I knew
Yeah.
him from something. Okay. Let's put that guy on here. Just put that guy, not the character.
He's got more of a Westeros face than a
Mm,
Middle Earth face.
yeah. He's a west,
All
not,
right.
not a middle.
So
He's
we've
an
got
level 5, and
who
So
are
our-
we putting at 1?
Well, Naru's sitting there right now. I
Yeah,
don't
she
think I feel terrible about it.
I don't feel terrible about it.
But I'd feel a lot better if Viserys moved up. I like Viserys. He's at 4 right now. So right now,
That's
it's
too low.
it's Naru
That's way too low.
Prey, Durin Rings of Power, Jennifer Walters She-Hulk, Viserys from House of the Dragon, and then Pearl, X, and Pearl. We're cool with Pearl at 5. We're gonna keep Pearl at 5. But I think our 4 can use some work here, maybe.
Who else would you put it for?
Yeah, just swap it with 2.
I like where Mike's head's at a little bit. I'd swap 2 and 4 maybe. I would be into a list that said Naru, Viserys, Jennifer Walters, Durin, Pearl. I would be into that list.
Okay.
So easy? Is it gonna be that easy?
Yeah, I'm biased, but
You really like Durin? You voted
no.
for Durin.
I just think Viserys needs to be number 1. I think he's I think he's literally the best character of this list right now. His entire arc season, just his season, is his season from like start to finish. And these are all very strong characters. Don't get me wrong; they're all great. But I think his overall story and the complexity and the relationships he had with every character on that show is just. I don't know. That's just me. I think he's a perfect character.
I think he was great, but I would push back a little bit. Just there were also some really other cool characters in House of the Dragon, like
Was
Daemon.
I didn't
I
like
thought
House of the Dragon.
Well, but did you like the characters? Did you like Viserys?
The
Did you like
things you
Daemon?
guys are saying about
yeah.
Viserys, I agree with, but I'm just saying I did not like House of the Dragon.
Right. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I think Rhaenyra had cool. Rhaenys had some cool scenes and cool, aspects. So whereas Naru, or Jennifer Walters for that matter, I think they're like they run the show. Like they are the main attraction. Whereas Viserys is like a really good attraction at the park. I don't know.
It's an ensemble.
One could say that. One could vote for it in
I
best ensemble.
rewatched Prey recently, and God, just her scream at the end, man. You just feel it. You're with her. and just everything about that movie is her. Like all the things that, all of her aspirations and her goals and stuff, like Aaron said, and just how they play off with this other hunter, and the disparity that she get, like when she's not considered a hunter or a threat by the predator, and just for her to come out on top at the end. And I guess unfortunately just get slaughtered by an army of predator later, it seems.
Eventually.
But at this moment, she is chief.
Could have lived
In
to
our
the ripe
hearts.
old age of
I
like
like
17.
her at
you
one.
know?
I think it is like just a strong, not really hampered down by anybody else. They're not acting off walls because the other characters aren't as good. They're acting off walls because there aren't any other speaking characters. I mean, there are a few, but I'm just saying it is mainly the Naru show.
Half of the movie, at least, yeah.
Naru show, I love that. I love Boruto.
In my list, when I typed out Naru, it changed it to Naruto.
All right, that settles it.
I love her,
Hidden
her
Leaf
run.
Village.
We love her scream at the end. We love her run. We love all the Naru.
I love the Hidden Leaf Village she's from.
Yeah.
Who else has some Jennifer Walters love?
I haven't seen that show, so not me.
I got all
I
of
do. I love it.
I mean-
So just okay. I'm
didn't
gonna
vote for
stick it
her.
at 3 then. Sticking it at 3 then. That's okay. Just wanted to check.
If someone wanted to like really fight for Jennifer Walters above Viserys, I wouldn't fight them on it. Like if it would,
I would.
That's why Viserys belongs at 4.
I would literally come to your house
Man.
and fight you.
Ooh, I don't think Viserys
Man.
needs to go that low. I would see him at 3. I wouldn't see him at 4. I don't know.
So Jennifer Walters goes to 2, and
Oh no, honey. No.
I'm just saying. Eric said he wouldn't fight it. I'm asking
I
what
wouldn't
Eric
fight it.
like. I'm trying to understand Eric's.
Can we put Jennifer and Naru at 1? Can we just do that?
Yeah, we'll do a
We just make all of them number 1, and then we're just good.
My head's gonna explode. It's gonna get big as MODOK, and it's just gonna blow up.
Okay.
Are we then? Are we okay? Because no one's gonna get all their wishes, right? Except me, because I love this list right now.
Look, I'll go with you with the
one
logic of
knows what
Naru
your
as
list
number
looks
1.
like.
I completely agree with that. I'm willing to take him down a notch in that sense. So Naru, sure, I'm going number 1, but Jennifer Walters is number 2.
I didn't suggest it. I was
Okay.
asked because Eric
Okay.
said you also haven't watched it, so you kind of don't. That's why it should belong at 3. Because I'm trying to do a balance here.
What?
Be cutthroat. Just be cutthroat. So right now we're sitting at Naru, Viserys, Jennifer Walters, Durin, Pearl. What do
Can we
think?
put Pearl and Jennifer and Naru
Mhm.
and Sydney
Yep.
Yeah.
at 1?
Yeah. You really like discriminating against the women. I get it. Yeah. Just put them all. Yeah. In their own little box on this Excel spreadsheet. I got you. I see what you're doing.
Yeah, and
there.
they're pissing on all the dudes, man. They're just pissing on all of them.
I see what you're doing. Pearl be into it.
Yeah, sure.
All right. I mean, Jennifer Walters, Viserys, Durin. I think Naru's number 1 at this point. I think everyone's kind of agreed on that.
I think
Naru.
we're pretty much just trying to decide 2 and 4 and Durin and Viserys.
Right.
Feels like we
Durin
like
number
where everybody
4.
else is placed. What'd you say?
I like Durin, but I think Durin would be number 4. Like when I was making my list, it didn't even occur to me that Durin existed. We're being honest. Like I liked his character, but I wasn't like, oh, you know what? Who needs to be on this list? So like he's really good. I think he fits on the list, but I think the bottom half of the list is probably where he fits.
I have to agree with that.
Here
It's
to
definitely
that.
not top 3 material.
So now we're basically between 2 and 3, whether we like Viserys at 2 and Jennifer Walters at 3, or we like them flip-flop, Jennifer Walters and then Viserys. Mike?
Let's flip it.
Flip it? You're flipping?
Just remember, I do not like House of the Dragon. I don't like it at all.
Right. And no one doesn't like She-Hulk. But do you dislike Viserys, Kayla?
No, that's what I said. I just feel like it's a factor to put something at number 2
Stop laughing.
that is like.
Hey, Mike hated God of War, and it's already gotten 2 good awards. So, hey, Mike.
It deserved those.
I just say it should be considered. I'm not. Like I said, I think 2 and 4 should be decided. I think 1, 3, and 5 are pretty locked in their place.
Oh, we're not going to swap 2 and 3. We're going to swap 2 and 4. I don't think Durin's strong enough for 2. I don't think he is.
Well, then Viserys goes there.
Viserys goes 2. Where
Right?
he's at. So we
I don't
stay...
see the list that you get to look at, and none of us do. So I don't know where he is.
The list is, for the 5th time, Naru, Viserys, Jennifer Walters, Durin, and Pearl.
This fluid ass list.
Sounds good. It's
I like it.
I like
best
it.
list I ever heard. Let's lock it in.
I could live with that.
All right. For best character, in order of appreciation, we have Naru from Prey. We have Viserys Targaryen from House of the Dragon. We have Jennifer Walters from She-Hulk. We have Durin from Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, and Pearl from X, as well as Pearl. Wow, that's the NOTYs day 2. We also did most disappointing thing, which was Thor, Love and Blunder, Book of Boring Fett, Chrono Cross Radical Downer Edition, Pokemon Refuses to Be Great, and God of War Ragnarok Doesn't Land the Plane. One more of these guys. NOTYs 2022 final episode will be Best Game, Best Show, and Best Movie of 2022. Not in that order, though. I think Show is actually going to be the last one. But those will be the categories.
Very hard.
But it's going to be tough. So tune in. That will be the final episode of the Nonsense of the Year Awards 2022. Any last thoughts, anyone? Did everyone get their way here? Everyone feel good? Aaron feels real good. We did great. These are great picks.
Yeah.
I like the lists.
You said, I like the lists as well. I like.
But you listen here, Keighley. All right, you listen well.
Summer
You're on
Keighley.
notice.
Only Summer Keighley.
You didn't make the 5, but you better do better.
What was Tomas's list again? I don't even remember at this point.
Let's run it back. Let's start
let's
over.
run his entire list.
Russia.
Just remember Ray. Oh, that's good. Ray was on his list.
Tomas, make some time for the PS5. All right.
If we can make time for Tunic, you can make time for the PS5. That's what we say here on the Machine of Nonsense. This was episode 111, Bilbo's birthday or something like that. We did Most Disappointing Thing and Best Character in the Nonsense of the Year Awards 2022. Thank you for listening. This was a marathon. Part 3 upcoming. Best movie, best TV show, best game. We are getting out of here. We're saying NOTYs.
Bye.
Good night.
NOTYs.